News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. And there it is, your closing bell for this Wednesday afternoon on Wall Street, where stocks have been in the red pretty much all day long, erasing losses in the last few minutes, despite evidence of a weakening U.S. economy. And of course, we look at your Wall Street numbers each day here at Bloomberg. Checking them out for you right now. The S&P 500 gained 8 points. NASDAQ lost 15, but the Dow gained 140 points. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.15%. The 2-year yield at 3.59%. First quarter GDP shrunk for the first time in more than 3 years, down 0.3% as imports surged ahead of tariffs. The Fed's preferred read on inflation is moving in the right direction. More details on all of this from Bloomberg's Michael McKee.
These are the droids that the market should be looking for instead of paying attention to the quarterly numbers that we got at 8:30. PCE price index for March comes in flat, 0.00, which pushes the year-over-year number down to 2.3% from 2.5%. Fed's target is 2%, so we're getting ever closer. The core also flat, which is a kind of a surprise.
That's Bloomberg's Mike McKee. President Trump blamed former President Biden for the lower numbers, which he says were wrong anyway, and he shouldn't be held responsible.
Let's give us a pass on the first month. We were sort of getting a little bit used to things, right?
Trump added he does not put a lot of weight into the stock market.
I don't view the stock market as the end all. It's an indicator. But what the stock market really tells you, and when you look at the stock market in this case, is it says how bad a situation we inherited.
President Trump made those comments during a cabinet meeting. Private payroll provider ADP is out with a disappointing jobs report for April before the government's numbers are released on Friday. Bloomberg's Michael McKee with those details.
62,000 jobs created. That is a lot less than the 115,000 that analysts thought they might report. It's down from 147,000 the month before.
Bloomberg's Mike McKee says most of the jobs lost were in the service industry, like education and health services. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang says he'd like the Trump administration to change regulations for exporting AI technology from the U.S. to the rest of the world so American businesses can capitalize on opportunities in the future.
In order to produce $500 billion worth of AI infrastructure requires enormous amounts of investment from a lot of different partners. And so we've brought on shore many partners to help us do that. And we're going to have to build our own factories in order to do that.
NVIDIA sells the leading AI chips for training artificial intelligence models, but it is banned from selling its most advanced products to customers in China. Ukraine is reportedly ready to sign a natural resources deal with the U.S., a move that could bolster Washington's support for Kyiv by strengthening their economic relationship. Bloomberg's Dan Flatley says this deal is very important for Ukraine.
Essentially what this is a guarantee, as far as the Trump administration is concerned, that the U.S. will continue to remain involved in Ukraine, will help Ukraine achieve some sort of equitable peace deal with Russia, if that's even possible at this point. But this deal is key.
Dan Flatley speaking with Bloomberg's Balance of Power. The draft agreement has been finalized and could be signed as soon as today. Airbus aims to deliver about 820 commercial aircraft this year. The target does not include fallout from tariffs, and it assumes no additional disruptions to global trade nor the world economy. The company reported adjusted earnings beating estimates. Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai testified that a Justice Department proposal that would share search data with rivals would be, quote, a de facto divestiture of Google's search engine. Pichai asserted that the government's proposed antitrust remedies are too extreme and will undermine Google's ability to compete. The government wants Google to divest its Chrome browser, license some search data to competitors, and stop paying for exclusive positions on other apps and services. The Supreme Court today heard oral arguments on whether to endorse the country's first religious charter school. The state of Oklahoma granted the Archdiocese the right to establish St. Isidore of Seville Charter School. Michael McKinley is the lawyer for the school.
Has the state invited private actors into a government funding program? If so, it cannot categorically exclude the religious. It's crystal clear that that's what Oklahoma has done here. Everyone agrees that St. Isidore met all of the other requirements, and its charter was extinguished only because of the non-sectarian requirement. That treats them as second-class citizens.
The Supreme Court was asked to rule on whether this was a violation of the separation of church and state. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris, and this is Bloomberg.